Even in a soft economy, plenty of employers are paying attention to their long-term workforce pipeline, and internship programs can be a key to keeping it full of qualified applicants. PNC, for example, taps interns for about half of its full-time strategic entry-level hires. Davie Huddleston is manager of strategic college recruiting, and he's here with two former interns turned PNC employees, Les Scales, credit analyst, and Michael Houlihan, our product manager for corporate deposits and liquidity in treasury management. Welcome. It's good to see all three of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So you're still, despite this awful economy we hear about, you're still hiring interns at PNC?
Yes, we absolutely are still hiring interns. I mean, our intern is part of our pipeline strategic strategy, and so we believe that we will continue to grow as a corporation, and these interns will help fill those long-term needs.
So it's really having your eye on the future and really knowing there is one, so you have to plan for it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, when you talk about long-term pipeline, why are internships so important when you're thinking strategically about building your workforce?
Well, first of all, an intern is probably the best way to use your resources in terms of developing people. It's a 12-week program. In fact, we have interns that have been with us for 4 summers. So it gives you an idea of what that students is like, what they need, and how you could best use their talents somewhere in your organization. And so our retention rate of former interns is much greater than our retention rate of employees who just come off the street and come to work for us.
You kind of buy into the culture, and you know they have right out of the gate.
Because they know what they're getting into from the very beginning. It's not a good interviewer. I mean, when they're here with you for 12 weeks, they see the culture, they know the management, they know the leadership, and they know, therefore, that this is something they want to be a part of.
Now, Les, were you thinking banking before you had your PNC internship?
I don't necessarily know I was thinking, banking in the sense that I'm operating in today, but I had a few family members that had worked with PNC in the past, mainly in their retail branch function, and they always seemed to enjoy their job. So when I saw PNC on campus, I started initiating a conversation with them.
Did you really have a sense before the internship of just the scale of what financial services really means today?
I would say not at all. If you asked me, 4 years ago when I first entered into PNC, whether or not, financial services was, more than branch banking, I probably would have had no idea.
Is that a challenge for you, Dave?
It is a challenge because most people always think of us as just branch banking. Branch banking is a significant part of our business, and we do have interns in the branch side of the house, but probably about 50% of more than 50%, about 80% of our hires are somewhere else in the corporation in terms of the interns. So it's critical that when we go on campus, we brand ourselves as a full-service financial institution.
Yeah, fascinating. And we should mention both of you guys graduates at Pitt. Michael, from your standpoint, were you really, how important was the internship to your decision, I guess, to get into financial services and banking as a career?
The overall influence of the internship on my decision to go into banking and PNC in particular was extremely significant. Coming out of college, I don't think that I had a extremely comprehensive understanding of financial services and what that meant and all the different aspects of it. It wasn't until I got into the internship and a little more involved in the day-to-day work experience that you really start to see all of the doors that are open and how amazing it can be to start a career at a company like PNC. So just between an opportunity standpoint and getting to understand, as Davie said, the culture and the atmosphere of the work, what's expected to you from you on a daily basis, and how you really get a sense of how your career would look and progress at the company and in the industry in particular. And it's extremely influential in how you go about deciding where to work and what you envision from a career standpoint and how you think things will turn out.
Les, I see you nodding. So that sense of opportunity really important to you in terms of making this kind of first move in your career?
I think having the opportunity to do an internship is definitely a vital step in figuring out what you want to do as a future professional. I remember, being in college, just being pounded to have 3 internships, go get an internship, get that experience. And I think the unique thing about PNC's intern experience is that it's not just a job, that they're genuinely looking for you for the future of their company. So at the same time that, they're looking to maybe get some summer work done, they're also looking to have you a part of their future plans. And I think that the summer culminates into an experience where you're filling each other out. They get an opportunity to feel, what you would be like as a full-time employee at a relatively cheaper cost than, actually having a full-time employee, where at the same time, you as a eager college student get the opportunity to experience what does it mean to be a part of a corporate culture.
How long did it take you to decide, hey, this is really where I want to be, if they'll hire me, for real?
It takes, I think, a little bit for you to get acclimated and kind of get a real sense, a realistic sense of what it's going to be like on a daily basis. But once you get into some meaningful projects and familiar with the culture and management and other people that are involved across the bank, it really helps to solidify the overall experience and your choice into where you're going to work for a full-time career. It didn't take long. I think 12 weeks is a sufficient quantity of time to get a sense of a corporation and see whether or not it would be a good fit for you and your talents.
Hey, Davie, you've been a thought leader in this space for a long time. I guess, and with only a few seconds left, I mean, a lot of companies drop their internships programs in this kind of economy. They scale them way back. When you really think about the strategy and the long-term health of an organization, what are they risking when they do that?
I think they're risking their ability to grow, because you can't grow without the right people. And what will happen is when you cut back on your interns, or say cut them out altogether, you're also cutting out on that pipeline. You don't want to get in a situation where there's growth opportunities, but you don't have the right people to put in the job. Or you have to go get someone else's people and take a guess on if they're going to be successful or not. So I think it really is part of your long-term strategy and for growth of a company.
All right. Well, words to the wise. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
enjoyed it.
And when we come back, we'll see how our region's community colleges are energizing the jobs arena, whether you've matriculated there or not. Stick around.